Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. This last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers, Mike even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Fox Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? What is up? It's Friday, TGIFF, and welcome back into Last Call Pub Sports Radio, 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. You already know what it is here. It's time to get after it and stack this cash. We got to bounce back. Yesterday was not kind to us, and we got the card to do it tonight. Tons of Major League Baseball action tonight. We've got the full slate of NHL. There's 4 games popping off tonight. And then, of course, the NBA. We've got one in play. One already rolling. You guys know, hard to let go of a good thing. I'm just watching and waiting to see if my first half under can come through for these Pacers and Bucks right now. I'm actually jumping in as we're doing this thing just to take a peek before we get moving. Help me feel a little better. Put my mind at ease. Okay, 113.5. We're at 112.5. All right, we'll see what happens. Plenty of night to get into here. I'm excited to join you guys, and we're bringing him back. Miggity and Max coming here. It's Friday night. He's going to help us get through this card. We've got all kinds of action lined up. I know we're trading messages back and forth today. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Feels like we're in a line in a bunch of spots, so excited to share those with you guys. We'll start off with Major League Baseball. Then we'll jump into the NHL. We'll finish it and bring it home with the NBA. Gives us the most time. The NBA's got a game that's in play right now, as we said. So we'll see how it kind of goes, and then we will jump in and knock down those last 2 spots there. I believe 8:30 is when the first game starts, 8:30 Eastern, that is here, or I should say the next game for the NBA. So plenty of time to go. But, you know, we got to keep a brisk pace, got to keep things moving. Welcome in, you guys know. Hit that like button. In fact, we only ask you to do 3 things up in here with Last Call, and one of them is smash that thumbs up button. Show the support. Let them know you're here. Building this community, cracking this algorithm that's 6 p.m. in a cesspool that is YouTube trying to come out there and give you guys plays that maybe they like them, maybe they feel a lean to them, but they don't have their cash on them, and you know that's what we do here. We give you guys the spots, our favorite spots, the ones that we are invested in, and we don't ask you to do anything but hit that thumbs up button, so please do so. I'll add 2 more caveats to that. You guys know I ask you, get a pen and paper. You're going to want to write them down, not just the plays that we're sharing here myself and Miggity Mac, but all you guys out there in the chat sharing your best looks. Everyone's trying to cook the books, and you got to certainly want to write these games down. Plays popping off all evening long. Then, of course, last but not least, throw your action in the chat. Let's see what you guys are trying to go out there and cash with here, and maybe we can add some plays to the card that maybe we didn't see at first glance or second glance there. We're all trying to work the same and get that cash out of them bookies' pockets. I got to put them in my pockets out there. Big payday today from this past week's work, so that's always exciting. But we got to keep going. We got to keep building. We can't sit back and rest on our laurels. We got to stack cash on the daily to get these bills paid, you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. Look at this here, my brother calling me from, I don't even know where he is. I don't even know. But he's calling me right as the show starts. He doesn't know. He's like 13 hours behind. That's okay. I'm going to side button him. I hope it's not important. You never know when you're sitting over there in Taiwan or the Philippines or wherever the hell he is. It could be important. If he calls back, we'll see what happens. I'm sure. But anyhow, you guys, let's see what's doing up there in the chat, and then let's get into this card. We'll start out with the recap. Then, as I mentioned, we'll get baseball, hockey, basketball, get the bow on the show, and get everybody off to start their weekends on the right foot. Get them cocktails poured out. It's going to be a great night for drinking. It's going to be a great night for cashing. And let's see what's doing up there in the chat. You already know who the first guy is up there with his comments. He's giving us his action. It's Joe T, my guy. He says, let's get that cash, the best bets. First period overs for our guy Joe T have been cashing at a ridiculous clip. You already know he comes in here on the regular for us. And the Jets-Avs first period over 1.5 is his number one play. It's his best bet. Best bet number 2, the Oilers and Kings first period over. He's going to parlay them both. It's a plus 199. And he's taking the Rangers Capitals first period over as well. Juggler 23, my guy, giving us the overnight wise guy action there. He says they moved on the Suns -4. Makes sense. We're seeing some movement in that line. We'll be talking about all the playoff games and then the handful of baseball spots that we want to smash. So Juggler 23, you're the man. We appreciate you sharing that wise guy action for us. There's Marco Carrasco in the house. Look at this parlay my guy's got. We'll get this up on the big screen there. Says he's got the Marlins money line, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Baltimore run line, and the Nashville Predators. A nice 24-1 action for our guy Marco Carrasco. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for coming in there. There's Senior Bumps, Perky Bumps Sanderson. Pacers first half money line moving on the Yanks, and the Braves also in the same way. TGIF, let's get freaky, says out there. Let's go. Let's do just that. Brian Watson's up in the house. Says Bruins or Leafs tomorrow. Whoo. Let me think about that for a minute. I have an answer. I just want to play it through a little bit as I say some of these other games aloud. Brian Watson does like the Caps over 5.5 tonight. All these up in the house. Dust 10. What's this guy? Look at that guy go here. That's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Good to see him back. In and out quick. Cashed on the Pacers-Bucks game. Both teams to score in the first minute. Plus 140. Really? That's a great bet, dude. I've never seen a bet like that. I guess I got to look a little bit harder, my guy, Dust 10. Damn. Those are the kind of bets I like there. Both teams to score right off the hop in a basketball game for plus 140. Good cash, my guy. Ken Wood, Jay Peasy's up in the house. You guys already know we wrote the best damn intro in all of Pub Sports Radio. Probably all of YouTube out there as well, my guy, Jay Peasy. Always great to see you. Nuke Worker. There's my guy, Nuke. Says, hey, fellas, rarely get a chance to watch at 6 p.m. a byproduct of 30-plus years of marriage. But Mrs. Nuke is out with the girls for dinner, so giddy up. Let's go, Nuke. It's great to see you, my guy. Hope all is well. Good to see you down there in San Antonio. We miss you, buddy. Oldie says, Friday Night Lights. Gerald Jones, best bet, Baltimore, team total over 4.5. And no follow-up phone calls, so probably everything's okay. I don't know. Listen. I'm not the guy to call if something's not okay. Let me just start out by saying that. Got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not that guy. But anyhow, let's go. Juggler 23 says, who told you the Hurricanes were free money yesterday? Juggler 23, you're the man, my guy. Let's go. Nuke says, happy Friday. Lee Davis in the house. Let's go. JPZ Sancho. Daniel likes the Blue Jays out there. Daniel, good to see you out there, my guy. Says, take away the Dodgers tax. Jays would be favored. We're going to talk about that game. Our guy C-Max got a look for us there. And Justin McKelvey in the house. There's the stacks play of the day. He's got Booker over 26.5 points, and he's giving you that plus money, plus 107 for our guy, Justin McKelvey. Great to see you up in there, Justin. Oldie's giving Nuke a shout out. Fernando Mendoza says, let's get this cash today. Happy Friday, my guys. Fernando Mendoza, I believe it's your birthday, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I recall from Jimmy the Bag show today. If it is, happy birthday, my guy, TGIF. Enjoy your day. Winner's Circle. It's got Siakam under 27.5 points and Bobby Portis 20 points and Miles Turner over 19.5 points out there for Winner's Circle. Gerald Jones up in the house there says Dame may be hurt. Justin says Dame is hurt. Look, I mean, I'm on the Pacers. I like a big number for them Pacers. So let's put Dame time to bed there. Let's take the batteries out of the clock and shut that Dame time right down tonight and help me out with that first half under. Let's get it. Brahma B out there says, what up? Ronnie Crawford's in the house. It's great to see Ron Crawford, man. Shout out to you and your spreadsheet plays of the day. Perky's illuminating exactly what got hurt by Dame. And there's Oldie gifting a membership to Pub Sports Radio, man. That's awesome, Oldie. We appreciate you coming in on the regular. Constant show up and chatter in the chat for that matter, but helping us build this community one member at a time. Shout out to you, Oldie. It's going to be a water cheers now, but I'll get you in a little bit when we flip over to cocktails. Incidentally, I'm starving. I have to think back. I don't even think I ate today. It's going to be tough to start cocktail on an empty stomach. Let me tell you, that's the first play of the day right there. Don't cocktail on an empty stomach. Hey, you can lock that one down. That is a lock. That's as big a lock as you're going to find out there. Markel says, Mike M, I'm on the Orioles -2.5. Big spot out there for the Baltimore opportunity. Old E says, Perky bumps, your fingers hurt. Well, now your back's going to hurt. Shout out. Let's go. Sancho's out there. Markel. Everybody's rocking with us. There's Nasty Nate up in the house. He says 2 units on Harden's over 7 assists there for our guy Nasty Nate up in the chat. It's great to see you. Brahma B says, Mike M, will the Padres win or should I cash out the bet? Let's get C-Mac's involvement in that game. I know we have a play in that game, so we will be talking about it. I'm inclined to say yes, they are. And there's the spreadsheet action for us. He's on the Arizona. That's the Diamondbacks. I recall that from earlier today. He's got the Pacers and then the Oilers out there for our guy, Ron Crawford, sharing his spreadsheets play of the day. Katie Nguyen says Pacers and Mavs. Step back Jay up in the house. Dab Fence, his first quarter went over. Shit. That's not what we want to see. We're past the 8-minute mark, so we're okay out there. Nut Flush Allen's in the house. What up, my guy there? Our team total whisperer gracing us with his presence here on a Friday. You know it's going to be glorious. Now I'm excited. Let's go. Gagnon. Kelsey's up in the house getting after it. Gagnon says, crack some sardines and some hot sauce. I could throw up just thinking about that, Gagnon. That makes me want to gag. I used to work with a guy that would fucking eat sardines. It was a long time ago, and I still can remember it like it was yesterday. And then he would throw the empty sardine can out in his garbage can, like in his cubicle, and he'd go fuck around for the rest of the day. But the whole afternoon, that shit was just cooking and stinking. I did shave, Kelsey. Thank you for noticing out there. Had to change up the luck. I am as superstitious as it gets. We got to change up that luck here. We had a monster start. We're still up for the week, but we don't want to give it back. You got to do what you got to do out there. There's that guy, C-Mac, making a Mac in the house. Look at this guy.
Yo, you didn't pull me back. God damn,
I don't know what happened.
Mikey.
You're here, man.
Yeah, you got to pull me. You got to pull me back as from the get-go. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, we got to have a. Sorry, I gotta have a better day. It's got me sick. Shit's got me sick. And the NBA, though, it's been a very good start. But yesterday was not good. NHL 1-1. So let's get to work. Let's cash.
Let's do that.
Get on it, baby. I see you shaved, changing it up.
Full scale, my guy. I'm all in.
Full.
A whole package. Everything short of pulling out the old razor blade. So it wasn't a great day. It was a 3-8 day for me yesterday. I had a bunch of plays that made the cutting room floor that I didn't share that were cashers, and that sucks. I wish I could channel some of those live bets because some of those cashed still doesn't count. It was a bad day. Yeah, hockey was
not for the show.
Hockey was a bad spot for me. The Major League Baseball situation there, the same game parlay, we swung for it, we missed. The NBA though was just bad. Those unders, man. Those unders need some help. The Lakers came through, got the W for me. That was a nice win. The Sixers -5.5, never in doubt. And the Magic -2. So the sides were good, but all those unders were bad. So let's see what we do today, though.
Came out red hot.
Came out fire, and we're still up.
Shooting, yeah.
We're still up. We got to do what we got to do to get back into this thing, and we got a card to do it with, C-Mac. I'm excited about what we have cooking tonight. And they've done us nice tonight. We got a little bit more time because things they don't start till 7. So we don't have that rush of the, 6:25 baseball game or the 6:45. So
true.
Let's dig in. Why don't we do that? How about that? Let's just get right after it. Kind of quick rundown here of the card. I'll tell you right off the gate, this A's and Baltimore spot, I saw the play of the day out there, -2.5 from our guy, but I don't have an official play on that game. Oakland and the travel spot after last night kind of cleaning up out there. Oakland's one of them sneaky teams here, but low number as well at 7.5. Any thoughts on that one, C-Mac, or you want to just move right on down the line?
Well, let's touch on it for a second.
Yeah.
The line's big. This Orioles team is really beat up on these A's. But last night, Yankees couldn't get anything going. And big game with that later. And a tough spot. I get I could like the Yanks. And it's almost tempting Brewers plus money. Tough game, I think, they're in that one. I think the Orioles get a ton of runs. Maybe look at their team total. I have Mountcastle. He was out. He had a sore knee. There's a bunch of guys like I love Henderson. I was on a ton of him, Mikey. He's been hot because this lineup's stacked. It's tough to pick a guy, but he's had some rest days. I guess the knee's feeling fine. He's 3 for 7 with 2 homers off Stripling. Give me Mountcastle. I'm on his ribby plus 175 and his homer plus 875. Big number for our guy there, Mountcastle.
I like it. I mean,
so there we go. Somebody asked for it. Bingo. There's already one.
Now you got it. I'll tell you the spot that I like in that game is the first half over 2.5 for the Baltimore team total. Not a big team total guy. I do think the few that I've taken, I think we're 3-0. I'm just not a big team total guy. I'd rather live or die by the side or the total of the game. Just hoping somebody chips in. But I've also been burned plenty of times where I've got like an over 8.5 and one team puts up 8 and then the other team does nothing. But that was not the case with the Detroit game earlier today. Your grandmother's wearing your sister's panties play of the day. C-Mac cashes for us there with that Kansas City in the under 8.5 plus 265.
Where'd you get the 8.5?
It was a little parlay. If you go into DraftKings, every so often, this is a great comment because you can go and see like the totals will be 7.5s or 8s. But then if you jump in there and you look at the game parlays all the way on the right-hand side, sometimes they'll juice them back up. So you can go out there or just same game parlay and take an alternate line as well. But I like to do those when I parlay the two spots together. I don't want to get into this
after 7 runs in the ninth inning.
I was sweating. I was sweating at the end there. And I thought it was going to be Detroit that would go on the other side of it. But anyhow, to each his own there. A little bit of action there. We get a little action from C-Mac. We get a little Mountcastle action from our guy there. Let's go. I could see that definitely being a nice one. 7 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 home runs, 3 ribbies, a 429. The best guy on the lineup out there against Ross Stripling. So lots of good stuff there. Let's jump into a game that we do have some action on. Let's get this card moving for us. And we'll pop right off here. I'm a little out of order. I think I went on a sequence here as I was putting these together. But the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets are the first game I've got on the docket tonight. And we've got a line that opened up at minus 118. It's moved to minus 125. 85% of the bets and 96% of the cash are on the New York Mets. And then the totals kind of got a little bit of a creepage there, a little half a run creepage from 7.5 to 8s. 71% of the bets and 68% of the cash. C-Mac, I'll tell you, from my play perspective here, I love to fade this Cardinals team in the first game of a series. Now, when they're a favorite, that first game fade of a series is a monster success. But I'm not a big fan of Mikolas to start with there. And if you look at his K-prop, it's over 4.5 at plus 160s. I don't think they're expecting this guy to go very long. We're seeing this action coming in on these overs as well. I'm lining up these New York Mets. The Cardinals are 5-22 on a Friday when they lost, and they lost 15 of the last 17 Friday games out there. They just don't play well on a Friday. A lot of times it's in the middle of a series out there, but nonetheless, we kind of have that intersecting opportunity for me where it's the first game of a series and they just don't show up on a Friday. So give me these New York Mets. I like this price here. It's a low opportunity. These bats have been pretty explosive for this New York Mets team. Usually I'm used to saying this bats are terrible. They're cold. And Pete Alonso's been leading the charge with the home runs. And I think the rest, Nemo's one of those guys that can go out there and certainly find some success as well. I'm a fade here on this Cardinal spot. Give me these home New York Mets on a Friday night. I think it'll be electric.
Yeah, you mentioned them as favorites is a little bit better, but they're not huge dogs here, so I get it. The Cardinals just can't hit right now. Donovan, Newbar, all these guys, Gorman, they're just not getting done. They moved Goldschmidt down to the 5 hole. They're moving around to the 4. That's where he needs to be. That 2 hole was just not good for him, I think, at all. So I don't think they're listening to me, but I'm glad he's fucking down. I've been saying that weeks ago.
It's funny. It was only like a couple days ago where you were like, thank God they moved him out of the spot. And then he goes out there and he finds some success. So
they've hit a little bit. So because Jose's pitched great. His ERA's 1.6. He's not that guy, though. He's going to get hit. Now, can the Cardinals, it's just the trust. Because Mets here, for me, I lean that way. And like you were talking about, I think you take the over. It's tough for me to trust these two teams, game in, game out. But it's very tempting with the over.
You got 10 miles an hour wind blowing pretty much out, right across the dead center out of there. But it's chilly, too. I mean, you're looking at 45, 50 degrees out there in New York right now. And That's still chilly. That's a brisk air that the way they're situated just a little closer to the ocean as well. So tough spot. There's a lot of lineup there for that St. Louis Cards team. Probably will find a way tomorrow to get some victories out there. There's too many guys on that team to get it done, but I think the unknown there and Jose Buto give me this opportunity for these New York Mets. Let's roll, baby. Let's keep moving here. I got a dying battery in this. I feel like I changed these this mouse just might be shit. Every time I change the batteries, the damn thing's close to dying again, and it doesn't want to work for me. But that's okay. That is okay, C-Mac. Let's go on to a game they're asking about, some action that I know you're involved with here. 7:07 Eastern. The Los Angeles Dodgers traveling north of the border to the 6. They got them Toronto Blue Jays on deck here. And some reverse movement here. The public in the chat, a very astute comment about the Dodgers tax. And here we go. This line opened at -138. It's dropped to -120. 73% of the bets and 73% of the cash are on those LA Dodgers. Yet we have some droppage in the line, 20 cents of movement in the line. The total's getting hammered on the over, yet it's kind of really no movement. It's a frozen line, 77% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the over. We've got Bassett and we've got Stone. Gavin Stone's kind of struggled here with the 6.0 ERA to start the season off. And that's kind of been the deal with the Dodgers, right? You just don't know which game they're going to come through and fire. Bassett's got a 3.9 ERA. And this Toronto team just got that rain out yesterday. Kind of strung together a couple losses against that Kansas City team. But, the rain out, shortened game for them. Do they bounce back today, C-Mac? Tell us about how you're getting paid in this game.
Yeah, the biggest key, I think, here, I have problems, I already touched like the Brewers, the Blue Jays, these teams have just been hard to figure out the last couple of years, and they haven't been consistent at all, especially the bats. I know we're going to get out of Bassett. I think he'll be okay in this one. Gavin Stone, this guy was amazing when he came up. They moved him too quick, though. Yeah. He was just right away in 2021. He pitches well. They move him AAA. Then they bring up last year. He gets hit. I keep talking about he has the stuff, but he hasn't really worked it out. And he looked a little bit better, but I still don't think he's ready. And I just can this Jays lineup here: Springer, Guerrero, Bichette, Turner, and they haven't seen him other than Justin Turner, who's like 1 for 2 with a homer. But I think the Jays, you got to take them. I'm going to fade the Dodgers in this spot. I got it right around, I think, plus 108 with the Jays. Give me them. Once the Dodgers really get rolling, the staff's a little bit better, bullpen starts really cooking, and the lineup rolls, I don't want them here. Give me the Jays.
What the fuck's going on with Justin Turner? I feel like every time I try to get some action on this guy, he just doesn't do anything. Is he just a slow starter? Is he just not happy where he is? I don't know. Yeah. He's in the 4 spot too. You'd think he's in the optimum position to execute. He's got Springer, Guerrero, and Bichette in front of him. I guess it's just a function of Toronto's bats kind of being in a quandary right now, right? Is that kind of?
Yeah, he's been all right. So far this year, he's been one of the better bats, but he's 39 years old. Comes and goes. But, I think he does work today. I don't trust Stone. Give me the Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays action for our guy Miggity Mac in the house, baby. Let's go. I did see there's an under action in play here. Couple spots.
I like real quick on that total. I kind of like the under. You'll think there'd be a bunch of runs, but I don't know if it gets there. So I kind of lean under.
Yeah, the under has gone 20-6 in favor of the under in Jays games on a Friday. I remember that trend last season. We were just banging Toronto Blue Jay unders on Fridays. 2, 9, and 4 to the under when they're playing at home on a Friday. So the home Jays on a Friday is another function to take a look at. And they're 20-10 straight up in those spots on a Friday. So the Blue Jays on a Friday are something to be reckoned with out there. Nothing to be reckoned with out there. You know what? I am going to jump in on this. I'm going to add this Toronto under 9 spot. It's even modest juice at a -108. That's good enough for me as they start talking about it aloud. Let me just, this one's going to start here.
Justin Turner, I'll talk about classic. He's a gap hitter. That's who he is. And like you mentioned, Mike, you were a little down. He's been all right so far this year. That's who he is. I loved him when he was on the Dodgers. Kind of had some rough after being so good in the postseason. the last couple there were rough for him. So maybe not the 4-hitter all the way, but he's great if you have, in the 6-hole down the line, right in there, 5 or 6. Goes the other way, great.
Yeah, I just locked him in at minus 108. That was it. That's real time. That's how quickly it happens. We can't just talk about him. We got to execute on him when we're going out there getting this cash. So let's go. Let's move on. 7-10. Big spot on the board here again for our guy, Miggity Mac. We got the Cubs and the Red Sox. A line that's dropping here. We've got 57% of the bets and 57% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. This total, 93% of the bets, 92% of the cash on the over. And yet it's a reverse situation here. This line kind of not showing concern for that over. It's Cutter Crawford with the Boston Red Sox. He's been mowing everybody down with a .66 ERA. He's found himself a win in that back bucket as well. And then on the other side, it's, how do you say this guy's name? Soshi Emanaga. I don't care. He's got a .84 ERA, and he's rolling a 3-0. The bats are swinging for this guy, and he's getting the run support, which is certainly what you'd want to see out of a young, up-and-coming pitcher here. But certainly you look at these K-props on both sides. Not that we're looking at making plays on the K-props, but these both are 5.5s, and they're juiced to the overs. C-Mac, I know this is action you want to talk about, so lay it on us here. Are we going to see a pitching duel between these two guys?
Yeah, I don't love this. Cassis is out. I don't really, the earlier stories now gone. I don't think this lineup's great for the Red Sox. Having great against lefties. Eamon Young, I kind of want to down the line on a road fade him, but not here. He's been that good. He was a great pickup. This guy, because I watched a ton of his stuff. I thought that was a great move by the Cubs who need pitching. So that was huge. Cutter Crawford has been really good. There's been times where he's been better on the road the last couple of years. But he's a guy that I don't mind taking. So, and I don't trust, Bellinger's out. Cubs could explode, but I think he's good. One thing he runs into a problem a little bit with is his control, but he's been able to work out of it this year. If he doesn't walk anybody, he can be really, really good. And some of those starts he has, a few other starts, he's walked 3 or 4, 6 Ks, but nothing to show for it. Not a ton of runs. So I need that first 5 here, under 4. I got to take it.
First 5, under 4 for our guy, Miggity Matt. Love to see that there. Nice spot, too, because you got a total that opened at 7.5s or 8s. Now it's really just frozen. If anything, coming down, and you're still getting the best of the number by splitting it in half. You're still catching the 4. And you're right. I mean, nobody's seen Shota. Certainly the lefty situation. Everybody's cold on that Boston staff right now. Now, Devers coming back might make a difference for the game, but that's going to be a fun one to see. I'll tell you, I like what Michael Busch does. I don't know that I like what he does against Cutter Crawford. Both these pitchers are in kind of over land where they've just not seen any of these batters, with the exception of Michael Busch, who's sitting in the 5 spot. So nice. We'll take a little under action there with this Cubs and Boston game. Why not? Why can't we get good cash there?
It's good.
Onward and upward, another 7.
And that was minus 110. That was just regular. I think I got that earlier.
Gotcha. Another 7 o'clock game. It looks like it's a loaded up 7 slate. We're going to transition out to the West Coast here in just a minute, but the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins here. Opportunity galore. Here's kind of a little split. We got the public hammering on this Marlins team, 81% of the bets, but 68% of the cash are on the Nationals. This line has moved from plus 130 on the Nats to plus 110. Now, in all fairness, Jesus Luzardo was supposed to start, and this morning they kind of threw the caveat in there that he is not going to start. This total has gone from 8s to 8.5s with 61% of the bets and 53% of the cash on the over. It's Trevor Williams and it's Maldonado on the Miami Marlins side. I'm assuming it's going to be a starter primary type of thing, if I'm not mistaken, for this Miami Marlins team here. But look, I've tracked these before, C-Mac. Right now, we're speaking of fading a team in the start of a series. Miami Marlins are 0-8 to start series off. It certainly correlates to the fact that they've had a tough season here to start things off. I don't dismiss that any bit at all here, but the Marlins are 0-5 straight up as a home favorite so far on this season. It's a small favorite in this case here. We've lost a little bit of the line value, but I look at this Nationals team and it was the Dodgers. The Dodgers kind of smacked them around pretty good, but they're also coming off of a couple of home series in a row. And I kind of like, you look at what they did against Houston, the Nationals, they found success. Now, granted, the Houston Astros aren't what they were the previous couple of years either, but I kind of like that they're able to kind of get the house in order, kind of get their lineups tinkered, and now go out there and just beat the shit out of a Miami Marlins team who, speaking of starting the season off bad, has just been goddamn awful here with this Miami Marlins team sitting right now, 6-20 on the season. Not that the Nationals at 10-14 are world beaters, but I think they've got the pitcher they want to start this thing off, to start the series off. And we're going to go out there and try to fade this Marlins team who's still trying to figure out who's going to go second and third when it comes to their pitching. What do you think?
Shout out to the chat, everyone in here. Hit the like button. Gerald Jones, asking Nate. The dude, man, we have Pig, Old E. Eric, Rangers, Reds. That's one game. I'd take the over in that game, too. It's 8.5. I think the bats could come alive in that game. There's one over today that I liked. So I hope you get that in that one. Trevor Williams, it's been pretty good. This is a guy that I've had a ton of success backing, Mike, with the Nats. Mm-hmm. And I want them here. You mentioned Marlins as favorites. It just shouldn't be there. There's some decent numbers, nothing crazy though. Arise, classic. He's like 6 for 16, I think he was, or 17. De La Cruz is all right with a couple homers. But they really got to get it done at the top of the lineup. If not, the bottom's just been awful. Forte, Gordon, they just haven't been able to get it done. So I took Nats first 5 here, plus 115 a little earlier. Give me him. I'm on Joey Meneses too here. In the 3 spot, give me him. I got to have here RBI plus 175. His 1.5 plus 135. But when he gets a hit or multiple hits, the RBI is there, Mikey. So I'd rather have that. Unless I'm going to look certain situations like I talk about it, I'll go that way. And he hasn't hit a jack so far this year. 10-1, Mikey. He went 3 for 4 the other day against the Dodgers. I think he's starting to heat up. And I could talk about, of course, he's in the 3-hole. So. Pure hitter, good hitter. So
little Nats first 5 action, and then you got Manassas with the RBI and the home run there. I like those looks.
Yep.
Why not exploit this opportunity with the changing rotation that's going to be this Miami bullpen? And beat them up early, beat them up often. I like it. I wanted to get this. I should have probably considered that first 5 here. I've
had problems with their bullpen and blowing some games. It's kind of like the Rockies. They've just been so successful for me first 5.
It's kind of think to that point, like, I guess I wasn't really thinking about whether or not, I don't know. I don't want to have to depend on them to come back in the full stretch. I should have probably gone there and said if they're either up early or they're probably not coming back to win that game. And it just makes sense that they would get up early there. Anthony Maldonado and squad makes a ton of sense. Justin McAlvey says Manassas has a jack. Brahma B.
I win. I mean, he hasn't had a jack this year. Everything that I see, the stats. He's hit 257, 10 ribbies. He went 3 for 4 with the double against the Dodgers yesterday. But maybe I'm blind.
I like CJ Abrams in that spot. That's a spot that
but he's getting a jack today. So just let's see it at that.
Let's see. Let's will it into fruition for us. And let's talk about these. We've got 2 West Coast games to knock down for you guys here. The first one we're going to start with is the Arizona. And I got choked up as soon as I said Arizona. Arizona and Seattle. It's 9:40. Well, what happened is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Arizona and Seattle, 9:40 p.m. Eastern time. And here we go. 72% of the bets, 89% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. And yet the line has dropped 6 cents. It's gone from minus 130 to minus 124. Then we look at the total. Everybody thinks there's going to be runs here. 97% of the bets, 97% of the cash. This line opened at 7.5. This line sits at 7.5. We've got Hancock rolling in there with a 6.1 ERA. He's 2-2 on the season. He's gotten plenty of opportunities, is what it comes down to here for this young guy. 13-12 on the Seattle Mariners squad. Zach Gallen, fan favorite. Zach Gallen going for this Arizona Diamondbacks. He's got a 3.0 ERA. And he's 3-1 on this season. So very interesting numbers. We look at the K-prop situations. Hancock's over 4.5 is plus 130. Gallen over 6.5 is minus 145s out there. looks like the 7.5's the quandary here. This might have over written all over it. Everyone's pounding that over. Yet we've got some juiced up numbers. The Mariners bats can certainly go cold at any given time. They probably could use J.P. Crawford coming back at some point in time here. But, you look at this Diamondbacks team. They started off the season red hot. There's no question about it, C-Mac. They were firing. Their bats kind of carried over from last year. They had some nice home stands, too, to get things moving in the right direction for them. But they're just kind of a win one, lose one squad right now. They went 1-2 in the series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Similar situations against San Francisco. And yet you got this Mariners team. They go out there 2-1 against Texas. Kind of tough to say who they are. They played Colorado. Then they played Texas. Texas certainly has been struggling in their own right, but coming back home, and yet we got this Diamondbacks team who's going to start its third series on the road as well. I do believe some of that travel is a factor. It's going to be chilly up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm jumping in on these Mariners. Think I'm crazy?
No, you trust Emerson Hancock. Yeah, I really don't. He's a big prospect. That I think 2020 draft where he went 6th overall. He's looked pretty good the last couple starts, quality starts when I was going through everything. And Gallen's the fave for me a bit on the road. I mean, he still can pitch solid. The best part was Saturday? When we were on live, that was it. He was 3-0, looks great at San Francisco. They're favorites by 125, 130, kind of similar to this. Can the Mariners bats are just it. Julio's finally hitting a little bit. He went yard. I saw you cash with Ty France. I love that. Yeah. I didn't bet it. I like him again. Solid numbers off Gallen too. What was it? Just three for 5 at bats with a homer. But Hanninger in the 3-hole. Love that guy too. These guys have cashed for me a ton, Mikey. So I don't mind looking at their bets, especially their RBIs in this one. Just, do you trust them? Can they get the bats going? First Gallen here. So I don't mind it. I just wish it was a little bit bigger number. I thought all year, though, the Mariners have been overvalued a little bit. Like they've been a favorite and too big because I don't think they're great. I think they're a 500 team, so get that cash on this.
Shout out to our guy, Jay Peasy, gifting not one, but 2 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Peasy, we appreciate you, my guy. Not only does he write all these across the panel, the board here, but guy's a great dude helping us build this community out there, gifting 2 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Shout out and salute you, my guy, Jay Peasy up in the house. How about that, C-Mac?
I love it. Jay Peasy on all the intros, baby. My guy, Jay Peasy. Love it. Shout out to me, dude.
I do see somebody said it's down to +1. Dana Delp said it's down to +105 on DraftKings. It's at +108 right now on FanDuel. So it's moving in that direction, and they are moving in the situation of getting closer to that flippy, even money spot. The Mariners have won each of their last 7 night games when they play the NL West opponents that have a losing record. So kind of catching this Arizona Diamondback team, I think, at the right spot. And somebody else made the comment in the chat there. Who was it there? Let's see. Gerald Jones, of course. The Diamondbacks pen is trash. That's kind of, shout out. I know there's some guys that like that first 5 with Arizona. And I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, I think it's going to be a tight battle early with these guys. Hancock's the variable out there. If he blows up, then I'm screwed probably long game. But I thought there was enough with Seattle being at home to be able to exploit that Arizona Diamondbacks in this travel situation.
Oh, yeah.
Let's roll. We got one last game here. We'll jump into the National Hockey League. We got 4 spots to talk about there. And then we'll get into the NBA. And we've got 9:40 p.m. The Phillies and the Padres. I forgot who it was earlier in the show that said, what do you think about my Padres action? Should I cash out or not? Let's talk about this game because we've got 60% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the Phillies. It's gone from -120 to -110. And the totals got hammered here. 97% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over 7.5. And yet we don't have any movement in this situation now. There were some 8s hanging out there earlier. I think I juiced up to buy an 8 just for the hook factor being in play. But, it's Musgrove. It's Musgrove and Nola. Nola somehow got a 3.16 ERA. Not a big fan of Nola, but run support 3-1 out there on the record for the season. Meaning they're starting off those first 5s for him, and then he's carrying through, and the relievers and closers are getting the job done. Musgrove on the other side, 5.75 ERA is just 3-2 on the season out there. The challenge with this game is what the hell's going to happen with these bats. Now, a lot of narratives here, C-Mac. The first of all being it's the first game back from Coors, right? We saw the Padres had that 4-game series in Colorado. And the Phillies, their situation when it comes to going out on the road against right-handed, pitchers could certainly be suspect in this case, though. I don't know how much that's going to matter for us here. At the end of the day, the big numbers that I was looking at for me, the Phillies, they're an under team when it's on the road. Probably a function of the fact that their bats are 0.5 or a half a point less effective when they do travel out there on the road. But, here we go. We got Musgrove. He's the righty rolling in there, and a lot of experience against this guy with this Phillies lineup. What do you think about this game?
I want the under here, Mikey, but I kind of want to go full game. I don't mind the first 5. Musgrove, I still think his shoulder, there's a problem. Now, he finally went 7 innings, but he still gave up 3. He wasn't real sharp. And the Ks just aren't there. You know what I mean? Like 3 Ks. So if you look at all his bullshit, his fastball, his spin, all that nerd shit, if you want to look it up, like on the MLB savant,
I know.
he just hasn't been there. But he's at home, the Phillies, classic, kind of on the road. The bats go cold, like you mentioned. Padres coming back. That's why I was looking at this. And now that I don't have the 8, I kind of like first 5, 4. I haven't bet this. I've been sitting with this here all day long. But I think that's the right look in this one. Nola's been pretty good. He's a tough guy to bet for me and trust at times. Good numbers against the Padres, though. They haven't hit him really at all. So, and it's 60 degrees. It's rainy here, kind of cold. There's weather that came through. The wind's blowing a little bit in. This could just be that dead under, you're saying early.
I just hate that this has dropped to 7.5. I'm still moving in on it. It's not going to affect. Look at all this money pouring in on this Phillies team, or on the over rather, and it's dropping, and it's now juiced on the under 7.5 as well. So, that's huge reverse line movement, and we know these guys on the road tend to the under. Like I said, it's where's the number that I had there?
It's kind of Musgrove. I think can the Philly bats get to him? Because when he's humming and going at home, this is just is good. I wanted to see more from him. And just to be safe, so there's the 4, which I don't mind. And when you like some, then you just go with it. But the 8, it's always just there. We'll talk about it in the hockey game later when I was mentioning to you. It's just always nice. If that's kind of the number, you love the 5.5, but you think, like earlier in the day, you could have got the 8. It's like, fuck. You try, we're here to get the best number we could get. So that was why I didn't move right away, and I wanted full game. So I'm just thinking about it. I don't know if I want to go first 5. Musgrove, he's going over. But man, this seems like a good spot for him.
Yeah, so the Phillies are 0-8 to the under when they're a road favorite to kind of kick things off. The Padres, though, in a Musgrove start after a loss, are 33-12. They won 5 in a row, and they're 7 of their last 8 as well. So I don't know that I would want my money involved with this Philly side of things here. My squad, I get excited about them, but I'm certainly not afraid to fade them, especially early in the season here. And the total to me felt like the spot more so than trying to isolate the side. Simply that Coors factor, the travel factor. There's just a lot of variables out there when it comes to the side. I just thought the total, and I'll take the total at 7.5 at this point. I'll still give it out as an official play. I still endorse it. If you look at this thing from a live possibility, maybe they get a hit in the first inning and a run, and you can get that thing back up to 8.5 live if you're going to sit back on it. But I think that's how I choose to attack that game. So there we go. That's going to do it for Major League Baseball. Plenty of time to move here. 15, probably 20 minutes till the first puck drop in this Rangers and Capitals game, C-Mac. And I'm pretty fired up for the NHL tonight. We got a 4-game slate. We got bangers galore. This Rangers and Capitals game kind of popping things off, right? This first spot we've seen, these Rangers outmanning this Washington Capitals team, but might have seen a little glimmer of something in that last game. They were getting shelled and they didn't quit. It was a 4-3 final. Shesterkin's going back in net for the New York Rangers. Charlie Lindgren, the best guy they got there in Washington, is going to make the start as well. And I'll tell you right off the gate, as crazy as it might sound, I don't feel this series is a sweep, and I feel this is the best chance Washington has to figure out a way to come out and collect this W.
Yeah.
There's a couple of reasons behind it. The Rangers don't bounce back well after a win, and they've got a situation in the playoffs for the New York Rangers. 0-6 for these New York Rangers when they've got back-to-back home wins and they're going on the road for that next game. That series, that trend goes all the way back to like 2007 in the NHL. I know that the players are different and things have evolved, but C-Mac, I'm going to take a shot with this plus money. Give me these Washington Capitals. I think this is the game they win in the series. What do you think?
I want to take it. I can't take them at all. I think the Rangers are just the better hockey team and win, but this number is huge. I kind of like the under in this a bit. Like, the Caps are not going to win, I don't think, a 6-3 game or something like that. There's just no way. So, like, I think if you like them, you look under. And maybe, like, you like the Rangers, maybe it gets over. They score some late goals or there's an empty net. Yeah, someone just put Ovechkin's been invisible. At his age, he's been hot and cold, though. I mean, this year he was, and then he got kind of hot there towards the second half. So I can't back. And I've tried to bet on the Capitals a lot this year as a dog. You know what I mean? Which some were good, some were not so good with them. They're just getting older. You know, I like Tom Wilson, but still Carlson, this whole roster, but I can't do it. I think if you're looking maybe some props, Zibanejad's still pretty good, like plus 180. Lafreniere, I think his goal's right around 260. I'd look that way with the Rangers.
I saw the pre-built parlay booster, Kiss of Death, a.k.a. the Kiss of Death. Zibanejad to get a point, and the Rangers to win the game, and they boost. I forgot what they boosted.
Those are crazy Kiss of Death for sure. The Caps first period, I thought was a decent look. Like if they're going to do something, it's right away. So
yeah,
I don't mind it.
Shout out Lucky Lefty 211 there, says first period Capital spot. And JPZ's on the Rangers. So a little splitting of – look, it's not a fun spot to be when you see the team is just that outmatched. I just – a lot of times, C-Mac, when I approach these, series bets or when I look at these games, it's trying to figure out how the series is going to go and then ultimately where can they pick their spot. Yeah. If Washington loses this game, what kind of heart is going to be left in that next game to go out there? And I don't know that we see all these sweeps. The East is ahead of the West from a timing perspective and in the way the schedule's been rolled out. I think if there is a sweep in this Eastern Conference, it's probably Carolina. The Islanders look like they are significantly outmatched. So, again, I just try to.
So not that they're outmatched. They just in every point they just can't get it done. Lightning, they take that lead and they just give it right back up. Then they make it 4-3. It just. Panthers are just a little bit better in everything, I think. So Lindgren could keep him in this one. Hot goalie, pretty good. Yeah, he could stand on his head. So I leaned under pretty heavy in this game.
It's the fight that I saw that last game there where it was easy enough for them just to throw their hands up, but every time the Rangers scored, they were kind of bouncing right back and trying to stay with them. So they got to play some defense. They got to control the puck. I know we'll talk about that in another game here in a minute, but I don't know. I think this is the best of the opportunities. And, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to see how it goes. Mike says Jets first period. Philly Eagle Flyers says first period. Dust 10. This is their spot. If there is one, this is it. That's pretty much how I'm feeling about it, my guy. Darren Snower says, whoa, nah, family. Lucky Lefty says, I know it's a gamble, but I have this feeling. That's what you got to go with sometimes, right? We got to go with those feelings that we've got. Nuke Worker says the problem is the teams that have to win haven't. And it's costing money. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. That's welcome to the life of the playoffs right now, right? Let's move on. We've got another game popping off here. This one's going to be 7:30 start. It's the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators. Lots of cash coming in. The bigger bets coming in on Nashville. I haven't really focused on that all season, but the bigger bets coming in on Nashville. And Yet the line has dropped from -137 to -115. Casey DeSmith, 12-9-6 on the season, has to go in there because of Thatcher Demko's aggravation of his injury. Then we look at UC Saros on the other side of things, who he's been playing pretty well. That last game, what was kind of interesting is they only mustered up 18 shots on goal on that Vancouver Canucks side of things, and was kind of what I thought was they got to control the puck. They can't afford to let a bunch. Now they still got scored on a bunch of times out there, but the wrong side controlled the puck there to only see 18 shots out of Vancouver. You're not testing this guy at all, and now you're going to try to go out there and score goals. C-Mac, talk to us about this game.
I don't know if they can, and I don't think the Preds can do that. They're going to be able to shut them down, and they're going to just not dig a big hole and be down, let's say 2-0 quick to the Canucks. So I think they come out tight. They know this game is probably going to be a dogfight, and that's what I think. I think both goalies could be pretty good here. I think the Preds, though, at home, play should be banging. Better hockey team. I talked about on everything that they do. Goalie, their offense, their defense. There's a couple props if you want to look at here. I think you look to O'Reilly, Auto Parts, our guy here, right around +180, and Novak. He's like +360 for a goal. Look for him there. The Canucks, I don't trust them. I don't. One of the better teams all year. I think they lose here. But I think the game, I love this under. This was the 6 that I was saying that just to have in the back pocket if we get the empty goal, something late. But I think this is a 3-1, 3-2 type win here for the Preds. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a Nashville spot. Let's not forget Nashville became Smashville. They got that car out front. They beat the shit out of it with a sledgehammer. They get everybody. I don't know what that's all about. That seems like some. I don't want to say what I think it is, but nonetheless, it's just not something you'd see them doing up here in New York. But nonetheless, good for them. That's their thing, and they seem to own it. I think they got the better goaltender. The challenge they've got here is the parts, and you're missing a key factor in your goalie. Who goes in if Casey DeSmith goes out there and gets rocked 3-0 right off the gate? That's a bad spot to be. Home, the crowd's going to be loud. They're going to be doing their pregame. This is going to be the first time they'll see the NHL postseason, introduction for Nashville. That'll get everybody jacked up. I like the way the Nashville Predators play. Roman Yossi's the guy that I like out there. You talk about some player props. This guy, defender that kind of leads by example. He's the quarterback out there. I think our guy, Nasty Nate, was talking about the Tom Brady special, the roast on Netflix out there. And he's the quarterback. He's the Tom Brady of this team. And he's not afraid to shoot first. And if you look at his goal scoring right now, his anytime goal is +350 over there on FanDuel. Yeah. And he's just a critical part. He gets all the minutes. He plays more often than anybody else. He's on the top line. He's on the top power play. He is the guy to have to go out there and get the job.
I love it. He's been great all year, like you're saying. And he'll get pucks to the net, especially on the power play, from up top.
You can steal his over 3.5 shots on goal at +130 right now. The other guy I kind of like, and kind of flip it onto the other side, I like JT Miller a little bit too. He's another guy that's kind of flies under the radar in terms of awareness there. His over 2.5 shots is -120, but I'm rolling. I'm taking the Preds, man. Give me them Preds. We'll look to live bet this thing here. This might be one of those spots, just like yesterday where I talked about it with that Carolina game, the under 6.5 and the 5.5 was the number that cashed anyways, right? But the Carolina and the under 6.5 was like a +150 spot on the parlay that I just shit the bet on and didn't pull the trigger. Here's one of those spots where you could probably get that thing back up to 6.5, cover your bases just in case.
Beautiful. That's a solid look to bet this.
Parlay the two together, you're going to get yourself a nice plus money spot out of it. But this is for the home team in Nashville. Why? Because Vancouver's the number 1 team in the Pacific. Listen, we talked about this at nauseum. What they did early in the season has been nullified by the fact that people figured out how to stop that power play. And now you kind of run the, whether it be the outer box or even the diamond out there on them in the penalty kill situation, they're not getting that odd man hanging out there. And I think the way they're going to want to, you saw 18 shots on goal last game. They're not trying to go out there and get in a firefight with this Nashville Predators team. They want to keep it lower scoring.
Yep, totally agree.
Well, 10 p.m. is a monster for a lot of people here. I know a lot of people like this Winnipeg Jets team. Go ahead. The Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. Where are my Jets fans in the house? Stand up. Let's see you guys in the chat there. I don't know if Mel's out there in the chat or not. I know she's holding on to a Jets won the first game of the series, cashed the full series spot. But I think this series is toast. Put them in the toaster, push the button down, and go get your jam ready to spread on that thing here, because Colorado and the Winnipeg Jets said it the last game. You know, there's turning points in these series. The turning point for me, and this is where I was comfortable taking this Florida team yesterday, was that backhanded save and then losing in overtime for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Bad spot to be if you're playing against a Florida Panthers team that's hot. Bad spot to be was that explosion of goals in the second period last game for that Colorado Avalanche team on your home ice. It's so hard to play in Winnipeg. That's all we heard. 2 months ago, they couldn't sell shit for tickets in Winnipeg. All of a sudden, it became a hard place to play. Gross miscalculation here. That first game, they snuck them. There was a bad goal that was ultimately called an official goal or a good goal that broke the back of Colorado. That went from a 4-3 game to 5-3. Colorado didn't quit, though. They lost that game 7-6, and that's fine. They came back with reckless abandon that next game, and they beat the shit out of the Winnipeg Jets. 5-2 on your home ice. The problem is, can Winnipeg afford to get in a firefight? We just talked about this with this Nashville game, and Winnipeg Jets are not the team that goes out there and scores at will. They came out fired up and motivated that first game. They got 7 goals. Good for them. Now you're coming back. Here's again, elevation. The first game, Colorado's going to be playing in the playoffs. That pregame shit's going to be popping. Everyone's going to be fired up. And you're questioning yourself now. Is our goaltender going to – what's going on with Hellebuck? The guy's let up, 11 goals in 2 games out there? That's not the Hellebuck that we know. I wouldn't even be surprised if Colorado goes up 2 goals quick in this game. They yank his ass, and they go Broussard, and they run Broussard until their playoffs are over. So that's kind of the way that I look at this game. I'll tell you, I'm going to move on it. It's let me just double check it here. I think I took it off the radar, but Colorado in the over 6.5 is plus 195. That's an official play that I'm adding here as I talk about it and get myself jacked up to it. Bottom line, Colorado, home team in these line margins, minus 150 to minus 220 favorites. They're minus 160 right now. Colorado at home on a line, minus 150 to minus 220 is 10-4, and they're 11-3 to the over. We're seeing almost 8.5 goals in those spots. If we see 8.5 goals in this game, it is lights out for the goaltending situation there in Hellebuck. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get the hook in this first period. C-Mac, I got this sneaky suspicion this game ends up 2-0 fast. And then they're like, holy shit, and they pull him out, and Broussard goes in there and takes over.
Maybe. I mean, we just saw it towards the end of the year. The Jets have played pretty good in Colorado and won, 7-0 in that game. I don't know how this stays under. Both ways. The Avalanche got to win playing to the over. I mean, I just how they're set up right now. They just really can't. And if the Jets win, they'll put up a bunch of goals. Well, this fight's like game 1. Maybe not, 7-6, but at least 4-3. So I'd look over. I'd look to some props in this game. I love the Avalanche at home. The number's big here, though. I think a lot of people are like, we'll take the Jets at this price. I don't think they win the series. This one, someone just put in the chat and goes 7. Maybe it does. And the Jets, I've just seen them fold, Mike, in the playoffs. It's just kind of like the Canucks. Like these teams keep knocking, have been so good, and then nothing.
I don't know if it was did the New York Jets just make a big move? Because I see a lot of guys in the chat saying Jets, Jets. I know they're not talking about this Jets team here. Maybe the New York Jets just made a big draft pick. I don't know what happened. Maybe they made
Jets
a trade.
Didn't do shit. Jets, the New York Football Jets didn't do nothing.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out. I do think, shout out Philly Eagle Flyer. Avs second period team total over 1.5 is plus 175. Let's not forget the number 1 NHL team at home in the second period overs is the Colorado Avalanche. So keep your eyes on that for a live betting opportunity as well. I think that's a nice look there, Philly Eagle Flyer. The Avs second period team total over 1.5 at plus 175. It's going to be a lot of opportunity to see to see what happens with this game. Andrew G says McKinnon points 1.5 to the over. And Andrew G says that would be a hell of a prediction. Mike, you guys watch. If they pull him out because it's 2-0 right off the game, that'll be I wonder if I could bet on that. I'll have to figure out a way. It's a later game for us, but look, I'm putting the two together. I went Colorado in the over 6.5. It's plus 195. I'm choking. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I haven't eaten anything. No reason I should be choking on my own tongue. Isn't that the first sign of a seizure? Am I having a seizure? Do I look okay?
I hope not.
Me too. Gerald Jones says got Nashville puck line plus 292 with the boost. Yeah. Gerald Jones, I could see that game being another 4-1 situation personally, but anyhow, guys, that's
the Jets. What, like I said, have to feel a little bit like we beat this team, throughout the regular season. Like that's at least one thing. It played well in this building. Now, can they do it here? If they do, I think they score a bunch of goals though. Like, how do you not maybe look to their teams or just the over? I just think you go over here. Both teams can score,
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the injury factors too for the Colorado Avalanche. I didn't look back to see who was playing when they did beat them. I remember that game being trounced on, but it's not the same.
I think just who was out there?
Is it Makar?
Rantanen, I think, was the only one out. Nate, I think. Yeah, Makar was in. I think Rantanen was out that game though. Yeah.
Nasty Nate's asking if I can look to see if money has come in on the Red Sox. I will do just that. We're getting ready to move on to this last game in the NHL, but you guys know the situation. I know there's a lot of you guys and girls that feel like this is a big spot for the Jets in the series, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the goaltending there. This line has 58% of the bets and 56% of the cash on the Red Sox, and it doesn't necessarily. Let me see what it started when I put this together, where it was when I put this together early. It was 56 and 54. So now we've got 58 and 56. So there is more money coming in now, some later cash coming in on those Boston Red Sox, Nasty Nate. So a couple points of movement there.
At the line hasn't moved, though, really. It's for both ways. It's kind of just been there all day.
Kind of stale. Just kind of sitting there, right?
Yep.
Well, the last game on the NHL board is a 10:30 banger. The Edmonton Oilers somehow took a big L right to the chin the other day, and yet they got the LA Kings kind of hosting them here back at home on the home ice. Interesting situation. I don't even know how to explain what happened. It was a 5-4 final. Definitely an interesting spot, but this series has seen goals galore, C-Mac. We got the Oilers win the first game 7-4. Edmonton comes back 5-4 the next game. What the hell's going on here with this game? What do we got, C-Mac? Talk to us.
I know. The problem has been the Kings consistently beating this Oilers team in the matchup a little bit. Oilers just seem to get them and are faster. But I was a little bit like, wow, they got him there in game 2. But this is where they've been shit all year, Mike. Like, they just can't string a few. Like, when I see this, I'm like, I want to be on the Kings here. It's plus price. They're at home, and I can't do it. In the end, I cannot take it. And it's not really that I'm running to the Oilers, but I think they'll be a little bit pissed. And, of course, I think there's goals. I mean, there's 6 in this. It was kind of like, that last was 5.5. They moved to 6. Like I don't know what they were thinking. This isn't the Jets early in the year where they were playing the unders. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Kings. So I just, and there could be in this game, maybe the next, maybe there's a 3-1, 3-2 game. But like, I really don't want to be betting the under. I think you look McDavid today, his points. But on the Kings side, I'd look Kevin Fiala here, Mike. You're a dude.
Yeah,
plus
man.
200. I think take a piece of that. I am. I'm going to have maybe a couple hundred on it. So Fiala. But I think the game could be good, and I think we get more goals in the end. Like, I just don't know. It'll be tough for the Kings to slow them down, and they know they got to score too. So I think at least gets over the 6.5.
I think the Edmonton Oilers did us a favor by I said this the other day. You look at these games, the benefit of seeing the same teams over. We don't have the randomness of the schedule. And by them losing 5-4, this number came out where it was. Now, I heard earlier today, I heard Babano saying, this he was hoping this number was going to be a little bit better. It's minus 140. That's as good as it's going to get for this Edmonton Oilers team with the firepower that they have right now. And I stand behind. I think they, again, had they won that game, this would be like minus 170 right now, and it'd be crazy for a road team. You'd have to take the the Los Angeles Kings to me. A couple things. So you want the unbiased part of it aside, right? So you guys know my philosophies and who I lean to on these games. Let's just talk about some of the black and white for a minute. The data. The data doesn't lie. The playoffs. The zigzag theory in the playoffs. You won, then you lost. Now you're going on the road. Those teams are 70 and 62 over the last 5 years in the NHL playoffs. So plenty of opportunity to believe that the zigzag theory does live. The bigger opportunity that I looked at, this is one that we've been cashing on. When you lost at home as a favorite, you're 144 and 110 in the playoffs in those spots. So plenty of data to show that they're back in the favorite role as well. Kind of that revenge situation. Now, I know it's a little different for the playoffs, but we talked about it. You lost at home as a favorite. Now you go on the road and you're a favorite. They're winning at a 67% clip. So I'm jumping in on these Oilers. I think this is a great. I don't care if I'm not even gonna fuck around with the minus one. I'm gonna eat the juice. I don't want to deal with the push. This is the spot I want to take the win. Give me these Edmonton Oilers, C-Mac. I'm gonna be looking for some of those props as we get into it as well. Should be a fun
yeah. I agree. But one thing that's been, like they got past the Kings last year, but I've seen this team since basically this roster, McDavid, right? They fold. The defense crumbles. Let's see what Skinner can do here tonight. I mean, we saw game 2. I haven't seen enough from them, and I've seen it during the year. They came out awful, and they won 18 straight right before the break, and we're solid down the stretch. But I don't trust them, Mikey. I don't fucking want my money on a minus 140. Not the way they play defense. But the Kings have just been this head-scratching team all year. They look like how they should be, like, wow, this team's really talented. And then they just get their ass lit up, even at home, So they were pretty awful at home for how good they were on the road, for just kind of being, a little over whatever they were, 500 in the end. So
this is just, I feel like, Connor McDavid steps up. He becomes the leader. He's helping elevate the guys around him. We talked about that before, the Zach Hyman situation. Now this leader who's got to go out there, try to find a way to get a big road win out there and try to snatch back home ice advantage or the home advantage here in the series, has to step up tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there, gets the old trick on the situation.
Kings, 1-9-10 down at the end of the year, but I think they were kind of cupcake wins. They were a struggle for me at times to bet. I'll tell you that, Mikey. But they did look all right down the stretch.
I mean, you got their coach had to get shit canned. I mean, there's a lot of things flailing around with that LA Kings team when everybody thought in October that they were going to win the Stanley Cup. So we'll see how that one evolves, you guys. But I think it's just too good a price. That's a step up spot for me.
Wow.
We'll be tracking it at 1 unit, but I just don't care.
So what did you think if they won game 2? This was going to be 185.
Yeah.
The number. Yeah. Even on the road.
And then I thought it would be a 5-game series. I still think it could be a 5-game series, but I thought because they won that game, it gives them their best opportunity to go 6 or 7. But if they had lost 2 games in a row, those LA Kings, they're coming back home desperate to win this game, which means they got to pull the goalie in the fucking end of the second period to try to score to stay in this thing. The fact that they were able to pull that win off to me says that the books still haven't completely counted the LA Kings out yet, but I have. I think this is a great spot for these Oilers. And, we're wrong. I just think this is one of those opportunities where this number just doesn't seem right compared to the opportunity. And it's come down from some of the earlier lines on it. So go get it. Ricky Levine says, stick to the East Coast. Historically, Ricky Levine, all of my betting action is better on the West Coast because it gets later and I got less to do. There's only a couple games left to look at and I nail it across the board. So that being said, though, let's talk. We got 2 NBA games, then we'll get you guys up out of here. Hit that thumbs up button if you have not done so already. Show the support for us, you guys. We're giving you guys some in-depth breakdowns. We're giving you trends, talking player props. We're trying to go a little bit more in detail on each of these games for you guys. Just give you some other things to think about than the same narratives that maybe you've heard everywhere else. But as we move into the NBA, we've got the Clippers and the Mavericks, then the Timberwolves and the Suns. They've spaced these games out nicely for us this first game. The Clippers and the Mavs open at 4. It's moved to 4.5. We got 39% of the bets, but 50-50 in the cash on those Mavs. Then we look at the total. It's gone from 212.5 to 215. We have 50% of the bets, 85% of the cash on the over. And the over does look like it has prevailed. They've shown enough concern to move that line. And C-Mac, I'll let you start with this one here. Please regale us with what your thoughts are and kind of how this series goes. And this game particularly, we know it's 1-1 right now. Big coming out part of that last game for those Mavs. They were 1-point dogs. They came out with that 96-93 win. Now they're rolling back home. What's going to happen in this game? What say you, my guy?
Well, I think the Clippers do shoot it better. And, this line's moved to the over. But I'm starting to think, if this was going to get like 214, a little bit higher, I was going to look to go the other way on the total because I don't trust it. Mavs playing good defense. And the Mavs right now just aren't deep. I mean, there's so much that Luka's got to do. Irving, they just don't have a bench. No Hardaway. Okay, Kawhi Leonard, these old Harden, these guys get going. I'm not so sure here. But now the line's brought where it should be. Mavs minus 4.5, 5. That was my lean. I think they take care of business. Do I really want to lay 5 with them? No, but I think they win here today. So
No,
it's pretty short for me on this one. You're on it?
I am. I'm going to move on the Mavs in this game here. I was looking at these two. I leaned to this one being of the two in the first half unders. I don't want to just keep going back to the well and blowing off the cash that have been stacked up on this thing, but I leaned to this one being the first half under between these two games because I think that Timberwolves game could certainly see some points. But I like Dallas in this game here. I'm going to go with it. I'm just taking them on the full game. I'm not going to fuck around with that. I just a single, let's go back. Let's get this NBA back in check after the last yesterday's debacle here. And some interesting numbers for you guys. First of all, Dallas, they're 12-0 against the spread, facing a team that scored less than 105 points their previous game. Big opportunity, 12-0 against the spread when they go out there against a team and it was them that kept them down on the scoring. So it's not like it was a random that's coming in there. And if the series is tied after 2 games, the favorite team playing home are 13-0 against the spread if they were favorites the last game or less than a 2-point dog. That is exactly the situation for this Dallas Mavericks team right now. At home, 13-0, and they're smoking the margin by 12 points out there. 12 points shows that they should comfortably go out there and handle this Clippers team. You want to talk about some of the X's and O's, or rather the Jimmies and Joes, I guess, in this case. Look at the players kind of sifting back into this lineup. It takes a little while for that chemistry, for the stamina, the conditioning of the game, the gelling of the lineups here. I felt to me like this Clippers team was just fucking around all season when it came to who's playing, who's in, who's out. Luka's back home. It's a big opportunity for them boys to go off. And, I don't know what's going on with Danny Gafford. Is he going to come out there and play or not? I didn't see him officially on the injury report itself. It does look like it's a clean bill of health for the Clippers, but I like this Dallas Mavericks team. I think at home, given the situation, tied series, the favorite, the history with the home game situation just shows they're going to go out there and put boots to ass and bust them up. I'm on this Dallas team. Give me the minus 4.5.
I'm close here. I already see a 215 here at Bookmaker. These teams don't play to the over anyways. Like when they get together, I think the Mavs, the clamp is on. This is almost a Clippers team total under here. I want to look at that real fast.
I see a 105.5 out there. See, the more you talk about unders, the more I'm going to have to start looking at this first 5 under again, or first half under.
I like that too.
It opened at 102.
You have 105.5.
Yeah, it's 105.5 now. It opened at 102. It's up to 105.5. I already added 2 plays to the card on top of a lengthy card that I already had. So the last thing I need to do.
I got a piece of it here. I'm on it.
The first half under?
Yeah. No, full game, team total under Clippers.
What's the number you got there? 105.5?
Yeah. Let me get the juice here.
I love it.
I'll find it. I'll give it to you.
Working together to figure this shit out. That makes it so much fun. And you guys are seeing it. We're in the lab. We're talking through it, trying to figure out. Sometimes you got to sit on it a little while and then talk aloud about it to kind of formulate what the plan of attack is there. I do agree with this being a tighter, lower scoring situation. And that's what led me, like I said, of the two games, I thought this one with the first 5 under had the best chance to it, but there's been so much goddamn course correction with after the books got smoked the first 10 days of postseason there. They've readjusted these numbers, and I think this one.
I got it here. I got it, Mikey.
Yeah, what do you got?
105.5 minus 110. I got it. So
nice. 105.5 for our guy C Mac. Team total under LA Clippers under 105.5 minus 110. Let's roll on. Let's talk about the next game. The last game on the card is this Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns. Here come the Suns. Minus 3.5 has moved to minus 5.5. We already saw from our guy, Juggler 23. The wise guy overnight action was the Phoenix Suns. It's moved from 3.5 to 5.5. 74% of the bets, 51% of the cash on the Phoenix Suns. And then as far as the total, 97% of the bets, 92% of the cash on the over. Yet it's coming down. 209.5. Now we see 209s and even 208s out there. You guys, Nasty Nate's taking that first half under 2. God damn it. You guys are going to make me go in there and take this first half under. I'm going to have to sit with it for a few. I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to sit with it. We'll see if I get there. It gives me a headache just thinking about another first half under. But anyhow, as far as this game is concerned, Phoenix Suns coming back home 0-2. We saw this thing here. Big situation. This, I talk about it, C-Mac, with the last game. Fuck around with these rosters. Guys are in or out. They can't get it together. They're not gelling. And all of a sudden, this Phoenix Suns with the Booker, Beal, Durant, all season long, these guys bucking around. Now they're 0-2 in a situation where this must win. Teams that lost the first 2 games have a 17% chance of winning the series itself. They go down 0-3. It's lights out. They might as well forfeit that next game. What do you say about this game here? Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns.
Man, I can't believe all the love for the Suns. I mean, it's the classic down 0-2. And this is it for them. All year long, this team has not covered goddamn numbers. All year long. This team can't play 4 quarters of good basketball consistently. And this is 5.5. Minnesota has the better defense. They've been a great road team. Pretty good all year long. I'm on the T-Wolves here. I think they could win the game. I'm definitely on the 5.5. I'll put a little on them. Plus 200 on the money line. I don't trust the Suns. I think everyone just thinks they've dropped 2. They're going to come home and win. I don't trust these old guys. So unless Durant goes off, or Booker, but I don't know if that's enough in the end. Edwards, these guys are the real deal, and they're the better defense. So I already have the series, like I talked about. We were on here, a lot of the guys have the Suns, and I got the T-Wolves plus 115, and that's gonna win. But they cover here tonight, I think. So
that's good.
I don't know if a ton of people are on it, but
exuding confidence with his team, with his series pick. I like it. I like the confidence, man. That's what we got to do in this business here. Let me regale you with some numbers here to see if it has anybody's
regale it
in this situation here.
I probably saw it, so hit me with it.
Which one do you want me to start with here? Road dogs of 4 points or more who have a series lead of 2 games are 19-43 against the spread. NBA history, 70% win rate for the favorite in that spot. Favorites with no series wins in round 1 of the playoffs are 13-0 against the spread if the total is less than 216. And the Timberwolves are 0-10. If they got less than 3 days of rest, they got a total under 231. And they're a dog of 3 or more points when they were favored after.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. All right. The Lakers, we saw it yesterday. The Suns might do it. I don't see it. They come back here and win. And they beat the T-Wolves early in the year. It was kind of a shitty spot, at least the last one. And it was towards the end of the year. Suns had to win, had to play to get in. So maybe I'm wrong here, Mikey. Heads up. We're going heads up right here, right? You're on the Suns?
I'm going to lock it down. I'm locking her in here.
Right.
Phoenix.
And I like the under, but not 102.5, 103. I'm not going to mess with the first half on it. I'm not.
The Timberwolves are 17-0 to the over when they're going against the rest of the opponent in a total that's less than 222.5. So they do come out there and find a way to put those points on the board. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to take a minus 4.5. The Suns 6-0 against the spread when they're coming off of 2 straight losses as well here. So this does scream that bounce back situation. I think these boys come home, they figure some shit out. Now, does that mean that Minnesota doesn't come out here and bust this series up? Absolutely not. I still think Minnesota's the team to get the job done. I just think these are the boys to get it. There we go.
This, Mikey, real quick. I got a bet online. There's a 6. I mean, this is moving. The Suns, maybe. I have to take the shit. Here, 6 at bet online right now for the T-Wolves. So, this is rolling. If you like the Suns, you got to feel good. Ooh, 1-0 Capitals, Mike. Yeah, man.
They joke. They make jokes. It's so early. It's so early.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like
that first period though was a good play. We said it. You know, Capitals, if they can do something.
This number's moved to 5.5. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna, even though it's moved to 5.5, I'm still taking it anyways at 5.5.
Take it.
Famous last words. I'm taking it anyways. He says, take it. He's out there looking for the plus. And I'm look at as much as I hate that movement in this situation, it feels like it's very similar to the profile for that Sixers game yesterday. And, they struggled in that first half, and then they came back and busted them up. Is it now 1-1? You guys are killing me out there right now with this game. As I said, it's too easy to celebrate. Too early to celebrate, I should say. It's 1-1. Who's getting these goals for us here? Who gets the Rangers goal? Kreider. Both of these guys are selfish bastards. Carlson with no assist, Kreider with no assist. They're not playing the player position game for us there to get these goals, but 1-1. Early look here does not make me feel good to see the Capitals are letting the Rangers come that quickly back on them. This happened the first game of the series too. Didn't the Capitals go up and the Rangers just went bang, 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 and
just scored, and sat on it. Yeah.
Yep. Well, C-Mac.
All right.
Fun. We got through the card. It was a good time. It looks like we're going to be head-to-head here to close the night off, but that's okay. That's going to make it some fun. We'll I look forward to you texting me, telling me that was the stupidest play I've made, but that's okay.
No, I mean, I'm on feels like an island. It seems like the smash sunspot.
Well, I would rather be on the island than than on the mainland when it comes down to it. So what'd you get? 5.5? You got plus 5.5? Is that the number you're locked in at?
I just got the 6. Bet online.
Nice.
Minus 110 right now. If you have bet online, it just popped up like a few minutes ago.
We will give
bet
you
online.
6 at minus 110. And I'll tell you what. Here's the trade-off that I'll make for you. I'm comfortable if the Suns have to win this game, just win it by 6. Then you can push. I'll cash, and we'll be fine.
We're going to play that fucking deal.
I'm going to have to go look at margin of victory now that I said it out loud. But C-Mac, I appreciate you, man. Again, coming in on the Friday, pinch hitting for us here, coming out, breaking down the entire card, top to bottom, you guys. Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA. Going to be a lot of fun tonight. C-Mac, tell them what's going on. Tell them where they can find you. What's cooking in the world of making a Mac, Daddy, baby?
Just Connor Mac Picks on Twitter. Hit the like button. That's all you ask for here at Post Host Radio for the show. And shout out to the people that are in the green and that are gold members. We appreciate you. Hopefully some of you guys have already won a horse race or two. I doubt Mikey has. He's got a slow ass fucking pony back there
slow.
Or dog.
Slow. They're all
yeah.
I stopped feeding them. They're still slow.
Well, one day he'll get it. But Nasty Nate, Andrew G, Gerald Jones, all these guys, appreciate you so much. Let's have a day. Philly Eagle Flyer. Shout out to all you guys. Steve G, Air Dog. Let's go, Mikey. Let's get it, my man.
Get it. My guy, C-Mac, coming in there, giving it to you guys. His best looks, the way he's going to get that cash. And shout out to my guy, T, on the 1s and 2s, keeping it tight and right for us this week here. It's been a lot of fun, you guys. We're trying to close it off victorious here and drive it into the weekend a winner. Making a Mac hit on you guys as well. I'll give it the rundown to my guy, Sancho, Lee Davis, winner's circle. Joe T already cashed his first period over. Gerald Jones, Eric Ross. You guys are awesome, man. Appreciate you guys. Without you guys, you know the deal. We have absolutely nothing. So it means a ton that you keep coming back, showing the support. Go out there, subscribe to Pub Sports Radio on the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Turn the notifications on. Every time we go live, you'll be in the know. Follow me over on X at pimp/POD. You might as well turn the notifications on for me, too. Every time I go live, I will let you guys know. But until the next time, C-Mac, bless your action. I hope you have a glorious cashing weekend. And I'll see you here again next week, my guy. Stay palming,
Peace.